So I got a request on how to winterize a lawnmower, or at least how I do it. I'll show y'all what I do. It's really simple. I brought this lawn boy out that I just got fixed and ready to go because it doesn't have a bag on it and the grass isn't really growing anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and store it, and I'm also not really going to be around until the end of the month. So I'll go ahead and winterize them, just kind of get all the gas and stuff out of them. But some people will put Stabil in the fuel, a fuel stabilizer. Not a bad option. Not a bad option at all. I typically just run it completely out of gas, and the way that I do it is I have my little string here. I'm going to tie around the handle of the mower, and I'm just going to pull it and let it go until it runs completely out of gas. If you want to save some of the gas in the mower, which I usually never put more than about 1/4 of a tank in, so it's not really worth it for me. You can just find a container or something you can rest right here, and you can take the fuel line off right here at the gas tank or at the carburetor. If you want to get that far back in there and do it that way. But then, if you drain all the gas out of the tank, be sure to crank it and run it so that you can get all the gas out of the carburetor too. So we're going to crank this up and run it, and I'll come back when it's about empty. That's how you want it to crank up when you pull it out for the spring. But like I said, let it run. When it starts sputtering, I'll come back, and that'll be it. So while we're waiting for this to finish, because those 675s run really efficiently, so it takes forever to burn through 1/4 of a tank of gas. I got all my others up here, but I wanted to give a couple more pointers while I'm at it here. The first one would be just, it's best not to keep your lawnmower outside like I've got to do to my snapper. If you absolutely have to, try and find a weatherproof tarp or something like that to put on it. This snapper's old. I'm just protecting the engine because I don't really care too much about keeping it looking nice and shiny. Just trying to keep the water off of it and stuff is all I'm doing. But find dry storage. As you can see, I have more than enough mowers in here right now. But dry storage, crawl space under your house. I just recommend, not having much gas in them whenever you store them. I would recommend not having any gas in them, really. All these don't have gas in them, so dry storage is always good. Helps preserve a mower. You can drain the oil. It won't really do anything if you just leave the old oil in there and refresh it at the beginning of the season, or put new oil in it or change it at the beginning of the season. It ain't gonna hurt for it to stay in there. And then also under the deck, after a season of mowing, if you're not really what am I trying to say here? If you don't really, clean out from under your deck, especially during the season, you're going to get a bunch of grass that builds up. And so a good rule of thumb is, especially before you store it, try and get all the grass out from up under the deck. Because if it sits in there, it's just it never really dries out because it's not getting much air, it's not getting much heat and light to it. And it just stays wet, and it'll just rot out from the underside of the deck. So those would be my other 2 pointers. As we wait for that one to finish, and when it does, I will hopefully catch it in time to show it sputtering and all that good stuff before it finally cuts off. So those are just my other pointers. As you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more to run. to winterize. So it'll be a lot of run time this afternoon. So I just missed it, but it did just run itself out. As you can see, it doesn't have much in there, but make sure you put it on, you know, a level surface or something like that, so that the gas drains out the way it's supposed to. But usually what I do after it runs out is I pull it about 2 or 3 more times to see if it cranks back up. If it does, then let it run. If it doesn't, then it's pretty properly stored, I would say. So and there may be you know, a few little remnants of old gas in there. I mean, it's just barely any, so that will honestly evaporate and really won't do anything. It's about as clean as you're going to get the tank. So again, to expedite the process, you can take off the fuel line at the tank and have a container under here to drain it out. If you do that, then that's not a bad way. It makes life much quicker, but this mower could use a little run time under my command, so I went ahead and did that. But that's just some of the tips for what I do to winterize a mower. I had about 10 or 11 last year that were the older mowers as well, or that weren't new mowers that I started out with, that I did all of this to, or did the same thing to at the end of the season the previous year, and put gas in them, and they all fired up pretty quickly and reasonably. This year at the beginning of the season. So that was just a viewer request, so I wanted to get that quick video out there for y'all. I've got a few more, as you can see, for me to do, and so I'll go ahead and get to work on those. And these are all fixed, by the way, but I just got to do these few, and got a few more repairs on the newer mowers, which the video should be coming soon. But hopefully this is informative for a few of y'all on how I typically winterize a mower. Again, there's many different ways. This is just what I do, and it seems like it's worked fairly well for me. And then if y'all, you know, a lot of my viewers also do this. If y'all want to chime in with what you do to winterize a mower, feel free to. That way we'll have a good arsenal of ways to winterize your mower on this video. So again, thank y'all for watching.